Good morning, Year 6. Hopefully by now you have all watched the Alma video at least 3 or 4 times, and you should be on with planning your stories. I have heard that some of you have already finished your stories and emailed them. Okay, still watch this though, because there might be parts you want to improve. So I left last time with the bare bones of the story. So the bare bones are the boring part, the boxing it up part. So it is snowing. Alma's skipping through the town. She writes her name on the chalkboard. She hears a noise. Then she sees a doll in a shop window that looks exactly like her. She tries to get into the shop. The door opens. She goes in. She touches the doll and she gets trapped inside it. Now, the part we're going to look at today is just the very first part. So we are going to write the "It is snowing" and Alma skips through the town. But we are going to use our writing techniques to make it as interesting as we possibly can. Sometimes looking at the pictures helps. So we've got all this greyness, the snow dusting the housetops, and then we've got this happy little girl skipping through the snow. So if you have a look at this bit, it might help you brainstorm some words. You might want a piece of paper and a pen in front of you. So we could say the snow fell towards the earth. And we could start this sentence with an adverb or an adverbial phrase. So we could have "without stopping the snowflakes fell," or "peacefully the snowflakes fell." We could have "gently." I'm going to stick with "peacefully." Peacefully the snowflakes fell towards the earth, dusting the rooftops of the sleepy town. So then we've got some adjectives here. Peacefully there's something snowflakes. They don't always have to be the most ambitious adjectives to describe something. So peacefully, I might just stick with the crisp white snowflakes. So we've got peacefully, the crisp white snowflakes fell towards the earth. Okay, and they did fall towards the earth, but we could choose a better verb than fell. We could have tumbled, cascaded, plummeted, danced. Let's have a look. Okay, we're going to go with tumbled. Tumbled towards the earth, dusting the rooftops of the sleepy town, blown by a wind. Which would be good enough, and we could have a full stop there, but we could describe this wind. Okay, and this is where we could actually start adding a little bit of suspense to make this sound a little bit scary, to get in that reader's mind that all is not quite right with this village. So we could have a fierce wind. We could have a howling wind. I'm going to stick with a blustery wind. A blustery wind, which, okay, what does the wind do? It's going through all these alleyways, isn't it? So you could have which sliced, which chopped, which howled, which whistled, which screeched through the maze of alleyways of the town. Let's have a look what we've got. Which whistled through the labyrinth of dark alleys and huddled houses. Alma tried her best to run in between each flake. Okay, again, run's an okay verb, but let's make it a little bit better. Let's picture that little girl. So Alma tried her best to dart and dodge in between each flake, causing her to bounce all over the cobbled path. You could have stone path. I'm going to stick with cobbled path. So now we're going to describe what she's wearing. Her pale pink gilet was the colour of her rosy cheeks and her small button nose, which had been exposed to the chilly weather for just a few minutes too long. And our next sentence is basically, she was wearing a hat. Okay, varying up how we write it makes it a little bit more interesting. So you could have resting on her head, sitting on her head, rested on her head, sat a hat. So let's describe that hat. Sat a grey bobble hat. And then we've got a dash to add some extra details. How's this hat making her feel? Sat a grey bobble hat, warm and snug. This young girl had not a care in the world as her arms waved about playfully as she continued to skip through the something snow. I've already had tumbled, snowflakes tumbled, so I'm going to have through the cascading snow. Okay, and remember, as a writer, always read back what you have written carefully. Okay, so we have got peacefully The crisp white snowflakes tumbled towards the earth, dusting the rooftops of the sleepy town, blown by a blustery wind which whistled through the labyrinth of dark alleys and huddled houses. Alma tried her best to dart and dodge in between each flake, causing her to bounce all over the cobbled path. Her pale pink gilet was the colour of her rosy cheeks, and her small button nose, which had been exposed to the chilly weather for just a few minutes too long. Rested on her head sat a grey bobble hat, warm and snug. This young girl had not a care in the world, as her arms waved about playfully as she continued to skip through the cascading snow. So for now, not a bad piece of writing. There's a few things there that I think I need to edit. So this sentence here has got two as her arms and as. Okay, we're going to leave it for now though. Have a go at yours, and I will be back to you tomorrow with another lesson.